Hello, YouTube. It's me, John Avenger, once again, and welcome back to Movies with Vowels month. Back on my channel, and we have a really huge one for you tonight. This is a sequel from 1986 made by one of the best directors from Canada, that is James Cameron, and it is the cinematic, near masterpiece, Aliens, the second Alien movie. Let me be clear about that, because to me, after this is when it went out downhill. But this is one of the best reviewed, best sequels ever made. It has a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes and 8.4 on IMDb. It's considered a classic among film fanatics of the genre. It got several Oscar nominations, and well-deserved, I might add. And it has a massive cast that kicks so much ass in this movie. You got Sigourney Weaver as Ellen Ripley, a strong female protagonist who uses a gun. Not a stick, a gun. And granted, Sigourney Weaver didn't like using guns, but when you're an actor, you got to do a lot of things you don't like. You got Bill Paxton, you have freaking Lance Henriksen, you have Michael Biehn, you have freaking Paul Reiser, you have Jeanette Goldstein. You have a massive cast. This is one of the biggest casts I've seen in a sci-fi horror action film. And while this has a ton of action, especially in the second half, it is a slow burn. Like the first hour of this movie that I remember, I saw the theatrical cut. I haven't seen the extended cuts or whatever of this movie, but it is a near masterpiece. Like everything in this movie works. Your female lead, the fact that it's a sequel to the original Alien, which doesn't crap on it. So fuck you, Alien Covenant and Prometheus. To hell with you. This is how you do a sequel right. Aliens just has the special effects. This movie cost $18 million. Not 180, not 280, not 380. This costs $18 million. There are sci-fi films today that don't cost like an eighth of that. They cost way more than that. And this movie made $180 million worldwide. At the time, that was like making $1 billion worldwide for a movie of this low budget, and it looks great. The xenomorphs look fantastic in this movie. The effects are some of the best I've ever seen. I don't own the movie. Shame on me. I should own the movie. I will get it. I guarantee it. Before The Predator comes out in the summer. It's got a great score. I think Jerry Goldsmith did the score. It's fantastic. The opening credits looks freaking creepy. It still has the atmosphere of the first film, and it's not as slow as the first film. It's definitely more action-packed. They get rid of the jump scares. Instead, this time you have a bunch of aliens all over the place. And the Queen Alien, I'm sorry, James Cameron, you said it would look better as CG. No, this is one of the best sci-fi creatures I've ever seen. And there's so many iconic lines in this movie, like, "Get away from her, you bitch." Awesome freaking line. The hobo will never say that in episode 9 because they can't curse in Star Wars. You have "Game over, man. Game over." Yeah, rest in peace, Bill Paxton. I miss you. I forgot to mention that. And there's a scene where they're using a knife on Bill Paxton's hands, and they're trying to stab it, and they miss. They took that same scene in Ted, the movie with the little bear. It does the same thing in Ted. That was Seth MacFarlane. Yeah. You have Jeanette Goldstein plays a Hispanic, and it's never mentioned. It's never a racist thing because she's Jewish and she has like a tan skin and she has a short hair. And she's a total badass. And see, tough women that I buy, because in the 80s there was no feminism, and that was so much better because now everything has to have feminism. It is SJW, social justice warriors, freaking feminazi bullshit. We don't need that. Here in this movie, this is how you do it right, Kathleen Kennedy. This is how you do it right. R-rated, fast-paced action, great special effects, no bullshit CGI, a great freaking kick-ass lead that we buy from the first one. And she has to protect a little girl who is helpless because she's a little girl from the freaking Queen Alien and all the eggs that are all around her. I mean, this is how you do it, man. I've only seen this movie once, but I remember how good it was. And I'm like, I miss when movies used to try. When sequels will be these epic film events. We didn't get an Alien movie once every single year, Disney and Lucasfilm. Yeah, the first one was in 79. This was in 86. This was many years after the first one. And it works. and it's still a classic movie. The effects look, like I said, the xenomorphs and the spaceships and the freaking plasma cannons and the freaking, all of the props and the sets that they had. It looks great. It still looks good today. You could put that in theaters, in a mainstream theater this year, and people will go see it. Why? Because they want to remember real nostalgia. Covenant couldn't wipe this movie's ass with its bullshit CGI and a waste of a cast and no interesting characters and Michael Fassbender the movie. That's not what we paid to see. This is how you do it. This is where the series peaked. It's the best it's the best Alien sequel. No freaking doubt about it, because Alien 3 sucks. And Alien Resurrection is not a good movie, but I can watch it as a time waster. AVP, that sucks. AVPR, yeah, it's problematic, but I can watch it. Prometheus and Alien Covenant don't exist to me. They're just like the new Star Wars films. They out of sight, out of mind. This is how you do it. The ending is so freaking epic where Ripley's in that machine hitting the freaking queen in the face. If the hobo did that, she would get her arms ripped off and die. No. Here, this is a badassery. Using a machine and no freaking force powers, no superpowers, nothing. Ellen Ripley is a normal woman with a badass, like mother instinct that goes into overdrive by the second half of the movie. It is very, very iconic. I miss when a badass woman used to be a normal blue-collar folk, not freaking SJW propaganda pieces. The poster children for that agenda. This movie had no agenda. James Cameron's agenda was not to top the first movie, but to add to it and to do his take on this franchise, and he succeeded. There is a reason he's regarded as one of the best directors ever. Say what you will about Titanic and Avatar, that they're boring. This movie's very long. It's over 2.5 hours, but I never felt it. Any flaws? Well, there are a lot of characters get killed off, which kind of pissed me off. I think, especially with Michael Biehn, because he survives at the end, and then in Alien 3 they make his sacrifice mean nothing. So fuck you, Fox, for ruining that movie, and also killing off Newt and freaking not Dallas, what's his name, Lance Henriksen's character. Yeah, you didn't need to do that. This could have ended the franchise. If this was the last Alien movie, we would have been fine with it. Or you could have done Alien 3 in like 1990 and do it right, with fast-paced action on Earth, with freaking tons of aliens, with great special effects, and a director that wasn't incompetent at the time. David Fincher didn't know what he was doing. Cameron always knows what he's doing. And mark my words, Kathleen Kennedy, that is a man that you cannot buy. You cannot force him to do a Star Wars movie for you. You know why? That man already owns the freaking cinematic world. Titanic and Avatar are the two highest grossing movies in the world, and Aliens is considered one of the greatest films he's ever done, and Terminator 2. R-rated action sci-fi spectacle with a good story, not recycling the plot of the first one or killing characters off in future installments. That's what Fox did with the other movies. This is how you do it right. And it is a sequel to the first one. It's not, a retcon or anything. No, Ripley is older. She has shorter hair now. It's the 80s. It's badass. It's action-packed. It's got a ton of freaking special effects that work. To this day, there is not a single effect in this movie that's dated. Nothing. Nothing is dated in this movie. Nothing. Not the performances, not the effects, not the props, not the sets, not the freaking camera work, not the editing, not the freaking the music. Everything in this movie works, except for killing off a ton of characters like, Jeanette Goldstein and Bill Paxton. I wish they could have survived. I know in a war you're gonna have casualties, but they were likable characters. That's what your Disney Wars is missing. Likable characters that are not freaking stereotypes and bullshit SJWs or droids that you kill off. Yeah, this movie, I wish you could see this movie on Blu-ray. I'm gonna get it one day. It is a near masterpiece. It really is. It's one of the best sci-fi movies I've ever seen. That wasn't called this, or Star Trek, or Guardians, or Interstellar, or Inception, or freaking Avengers. Yeah, this is one of the best films ever made from '86, and of pretty much one of the best of all time. Definitely one of James Cameron's best. I put it right up there with Terminator 2 and the original Terminator. It's a great freaking movie. If you have not seen this, burn your copies of Prometheus and Alien Covenant and just go see this. This is where the franchise peaked. Plain and simple. With Predator, we got 2 good movies. And then we got a shitty rehash. And hopefully this year the new movie can make up for it. But with Aliens, it's had a rougher time. Because you've had 2 bad sequels, a freaking spin-off that was watered down, a dark sequel to that, which I can enjoy as a guilty pleasure, but it still has a ton of problems, a shitty prequel that we didn't need, and a sequel to the prequel that's not really a sequel, it's a midquel. Yay. No, if Cameron is not doing it, you're not going to do it better, Ridley Scott, anymore. You lost the touch. You don't know how to do suspense and good characters. You just want to make a slasher in space. It's been done already. Jason X beat you to it. Sorry, Ridley Scott. I love Blade Runner. I love Alien. I even like I think he did Gladiator. Yeah, that's an awesome movie. But you lost the touch for doing sci-fi horror. You can't be scary anymore now when everything is in my face. In my face. No, this movie, it shows the xenomorphs in freaking costumes. They're not bad CGI, and it looks fantastic. And the lead is not a Brit. Yeah. Haha. This is how you do it. You don't cast some Diet Ripley, Catherine Waterston in Covenant. You don't cast Idris Elba in Prometheus and Michael Fassbender's dumbass being an android. Yeah, his performance is a robotic now. He's an overrated actor. I've never liked that actor. I hated him in X-Men. I hated him in freaking Jonah Hex. I don't like that guy. Get your British face away from me, okay? Get away. This is how you do it. I miss movies that kicked ass in the theater back in '86. I was a baby at that time. If I had seen this in the theater back in '86, or even when it got re-released tons of times, I would have a freaking ball. You know why? Because this is well-made cinema. This is art. Freaking you douche nozzle directors from nowadays. Yeah, I don't know what else I can say about Aliens. It is a freaking classic. I'm finally gonna get this movie on Blu-ray this year. Hopefully Blu-ray or DVD, it doesn't matter. This movie can be enjoyed in any format. Digitally, DVD, VHS, beta tape, whatever, freaking Laserdisc. It is a classic for a reason. And it gets an A from me. Minus, but it still gets an A from me. Because it's fantastic. And like I said, this is where the franchise peaked. And there's a reason that this had a kick-ass arcade game, and I think a shooter as well. And it's still, yeah, Colonial Marines never happened. This is how you do it. I'm sorry, that doesn't have Sigourney Weaver. And yeah, this is a great movie. Like, if you guys have not seen it, like I said, if you're old enough, if you're not 12 years old, if you're about 17 or 18 years old and you have parents, that you can watch this with them. It is bloody. It's R-rated. It's got a ton of curse words. It doesn't hold your hand. It doesn't hold back. It's badass. And it didn't do what this franchise did, what they did to this. I think this is a bigger insult than what they did to Alien, because at least with the first 2 films, they're near masterpieces. You can't ruin them. You can't. They have not killed Ripley yet. They did it in Alien 3, and then they brought her back. See? But here, this is how you do it, man. I keep saying that because it is a great freaking sequel, and it should be in my collection, right next to Alien, because it is that good and fast paced, and it's never boring. So that's my freaking praise about Aliens, the 1986 near masterpiece that James Cameron directed. That he said, you know what, Ridley Scott, you did a great freaking movie that's scary and atmospheric and intriguing and has great characters and a great story that's not recycled. I'm gonna do my take on it, and he succeeded. That's why I'm a fan of Canadians, because they got talent. You useless hacks of the UK, for the most part. I'm sorry, I'm done. I've already bashed on those people enough. Not a fan of them. 90% of them are just freaking hacks that want to butcher and destroy franchises like this. But anyway, Aliens is a freaking home run for the sci-fi genre, horror, action. it works. And I need to get it because I want to see this movie again. It's been too long. But anyway, thanks guys for watching. I hope you see Aliens. Like I said, just burn the copies of anything that came after 3 because it's just not worth your time. This is where the franchise just, it went skyrocketed, and xenomorphs became one of the most popular creatures in all of science fiction. And I love sci-fi. When you do it right, I'm going to give you praise. Tons of it. Just like with Blade Runner 2049. I'll leave you guys on that. See you in the next review. Long live good movies, baby.